Okay, I want to talk about a couple things, and I want to get into what just happened with President Trump and how people on the left cheer this on. They want this style of government, and how people on, or shouldn't even say on my side, people who honestly believe in the rule of law, people who love the Constitution, who believe in all the amendments we have, don't want this style of government. But the thing is this: when you have one side that, and don't get it twisted, that really believes in the basic philosophy of communism and socialism, there is no meeting in the middle. So you have one side that continues to relentlessly pursue the other side, use any tactic necessary to do whatever it is to destroy them, whether that is go after them economically, whether that is to destroy their business, whether that is to destroy them and throw them in jail. They don't care what means by that they use to get there. They're in charge of all the major institutions, whether that be Hollywood, whether that be corporations, whether that be news outlets, everything. They're in charge of all the basic institutions, and they use that power to crush the other side, which is the side that I am on. The side that believes in what this country stands for, the side that believes in the Constitution, that believes in freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They're against that. So when you have these two sides colliding and one side just uses every ounce of power they have to crush the other side, what happens next is the question. For instance, the other side gets together with all their power and they use it to call my side, or the people who believe like me, they use it to call us terrorists, to call us fascists, to call us white supremacists, or believers of white supremacy. But there's nothing actually to back it up. The fact that they call us fascists, and none of us like to be called fascists. No one wants to be called a Nazi. We disagree with that. We don't want to be that known as that, because that is not what we believe in. But they use it to bludgeon us, and they use it to go after us. And no matter how many times we deny any association with that, or even want to be called that, we say that's not us. We brush it off and denounce it at every step of the way. They continue to use it to bludgeon us and to destroy us. No one I know who has the same values of me would ever want to be associated with the fascist party, with a Nazi party, because we know the atrocities that are associated with it. However, however, on the other side, they happily accept the fact that they like the sickle and hammer, that they are called communists. They don't care. They actually embrace it. They embrace the notion that they are socialists. Just look at what they've added to Democrat. They call themselves Democrat socialists. They accept the fact when they go to protest that they're communists, that they're socialists, but yet they call us the fascists that we never want to be known as, and they accept communists and socialists. We don't want to be fascists because we know what fascism has done, the millions of people that they've killed. I believe the body count for Nazis was close to 11 million. But the fact, and this is the clear part, the fact that they accepted to be called socialists and communists, and the socialists and communists of the world throughout history have killed and destroyed far more lives than any fascist that we don't even want to be connected to. The Communist Party alone, if you're associated with it and you accept that, you're accepting the fact that you're being associated with people that have killed over 100 million people worldwide. And if you accept being a socialist, you're accepting the fact that you're associating yourself with people who have killed over 170 million people. But yet you want to call us fascists, and we don't accept that, but you accept the fact that you're communist and socialist? The funny thing, about communists and socialists, and one of the things they used for the people who accept them, the many people in the Western Front who accept the fact that they want to be attached to the Communist and Socialist Party, the socialists and communists themselves refer to you as useful idiots. That is a term that they came up with for you, the people who support them, the people who support the propaganda that they put out. The useful idiot term comes from the people who are running this communist and socialist factions, and they refer to you the people who support them. And do you know what they usually do with the useful idiots after they take over power? They end you. So you sit there and you believe their propaganda, you fully enforce their propaganda, you repeat the propaganda, and then when it's all said and done, they end you. So just think about that. Next time you're there cheering against the First Amendment, when you're cheering against the Second Amendment, when you're cheering against the Fourth Amendment, and when you're cheering against the Fifth Amendment, when you support Stalinist, Leninist tactics against a former president, when you support tactics used against Americans to be jailed for years without a trial, without any bail, and you cheer this behavior on, I ask you, can we meet in the middle? Can we ever resolve our differences? You see, people like me used to always believe if you gave a little, you give a little, you give back a little, and you meet in the middle. But now we have people who don't give at all, who accept every violation of the law. They accept quelling free speech. They accept taking your arms from you. They accept illegal spying. They accept imprisoning people for no reason other than the fact that they disagree with you politically. Again, I ask you, if you're that type of person and you support the communist socialist movement, I ask you, how do we meet in the middle? How do we ever resolve the problems of this country? I don't think you want that. I think you want to impress your power upon us. You don't care what we think. There's a saying that conservatives believe leftists have bad ideas, but leftists think conservatives are bad people. You see, I never used to believe leftists were bad people. I always believed they were just misguided people. But as I see and I go on social media and I see that they cheer on destroying every right that I believe in, which is free speech. They don't want us to talk. That they believe in confiscating our guns. That they believe we should be spied upon. And that they believe we should be arrested for no reason at all other than being their political opponents. And they believe using physical violence against us other than no other reason than just we have different political opinions. They wish death upon us because we have a different political opinion. I now believe that they are bad people. Not just have bad ideas, but they are bad people. So I am going to use the same tactics that they use. I am going to believe in using the same tactics that they use. Because when you fight in an uneven fighting field or playing field, that person always has the edge. And you see it as they have continuously and recklessly gone after the former president of the United States. Have they continuously and recklessly gone after the people who they consider the insurrectionists in January 6th? Did some of them commit crimes? Maybe a riot. They were rioting, okay. But to throw these people in prison for over a year, close to a year and a half now, with no bail, and sentence some of them to these extremely harsh penalties, when we know what happened in 2020, these people destroyed cities. They killed 43 people in 2020, and not one person was killed or even seriously injured during the January 6th riots, but yet you put it on TV already for the past few months like it was the worst thing that ever happened to this country. that's when I see what people like me are up against is something more dark, more sinister than any other American fight that we've had in this country. I believe we have to wipe these communist socialists out. We have to destroy their ideology. We have to take back our schools. We have to take back all our news industries, because these people in the news just work for the government. They do nothing to serve the people anymore. They do nothing to support actual government tyranny. They're actually involved in creating government tyranny. I think we as the American people have a fight like America has never seen. I believe what happened in World War II is nothing compared to what's happening now. Sure, there were millions of deaths, and we're not at that stage yet, but if we don't stop this, I believe we will be there soon. I believe the fight that the United States of America is in right now has to be met head on, because I really can't find another time in history over the last 100 years where communists or socialists tried to take over and they were actually stopped. So I don't know if it's too late for the United States. I don't know if we can save the United States. But what I do know is the fight ahead of us is real. The fight ahead of us is serious. And the fight ahead of us may not end well for one side. But it's a fight nonetheless. It may not actually even get to a fight like World War II. It may not get to a fight like Tim Pool always says, a civil war. The fight is a different type of fight. Right now, it's a fight for information, a fight for people's minds. But when the minds, as I said, can't meet in the middle, then you're destined to have the other fights that I said I don't know if we'll get to, but the fights that have happened in previous wars. So eventually that may happen. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope we can resolve this at the ballot box, but we know what's going on at the ballot box. So I don't know what happens next in this country, but I do know if you're watching this video, you have to get in this fight. You have to get involved, because again, I don't know of many times when communists almost took over this country, because that's where we are, or where socialists have almost taken over the country, that has actually been stopped. So I don't know if it's too late to save America, but whatever it is, let's do our best to combat this evil. And I do believe for some reason the United States is being watched over by God because of the way this country was founded. I believe that we have a overall construct of goodness in this country, that many people believe in the rule of law. They believe in loving your neighbor. They believe in hugging your neighbor. So I'm praying and I'm hoping that in the long run that is what will take over, is the goodness in overall America's heart, and we'll fight this evil that's coming our way. And it's an evil like none of us have ever seen before. So get involved, take a stand, and stop letting this evil creep up little by little. Because eventually what happens, if you look at the history of communism, the government becomes too strong and you just can't stop it. Maybe that's already what's happened in America. I don't know, because I never been involved in a communist takeover until now. But it's here. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.